Math 50, section 5.3, multiplying decimals and the circumference of a circle. So what we're going to learn today is how to multiply decimals. And basically, all that you do is you multiply the decimals as if they were whole numbers. And then at the very end, the decimal point and the product is placed so that the number of decimal places in the product is equal to the sum of the number of decimal places in the factors. And I will show you what you do. So the first example, which you should have received the notes, 23.6 times 0.78. And you're just going to multiply it as if they were whole numbers. So you're going to do 6 times 8, which is 48. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 4 is 28. 8 times 2 is 16. Add 2 is 18. Now you put a 0 here. And I usually use pencil and just cross those out. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 4 is 25. 7 times 2 is 14, and that's 16. And then you add these, 8, 10, 14, 8, and 1. And now this is the very end what you do. You're going to count how many decimal places you have in each number. So how many places after the decimal. So this has 1 and this has 2. So we are going to move, we're going to assume our decimals right there. We're going to move 3 places in. So 1, 2, 3. So your answer is 18.408. And that's how you multiply. Let's do another example. Example 2, we're going to multiply 0.0531 times 16. Okay? So 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 1 is 31. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 3. Put a 0 here, and 1 times all this is 1, 3, 5, and 0. And when we add 6, 9, 4, 8, 0. And we're going to count, there's 4 places here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So your answer is 0.8496. Okay, example number 3. Multiply. Example number 3 is multiplying negative 2.6 times 0.8. So you're just going to go ahead. 6 times 8 is 48. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 is 20. And then you're going to go 2 places in. So it's 2.08, but because one of our numbers is negative, our answer is negative 2.08. Okay? Now, when you estimate, there's 2 different ways you can estimate. And the only reason that you're estimating, and I'm going to do this one really quickly, is because you want to see if your answer is reasonable or not. So sometimes it's not, you're not in the perfect situation to actually multiply 2 numbers because obviously you need paper and pencil. So what you're going to do is you're going to round these 2 numbers. So this example is 28.06 times 1.95. So it would be rather tedious, but you can multiply it out like we did in the previous 3 problems. And your answer ends up being 54.7170. That's an exact answer. Now the other way you can do this, you can round this. If you round down, you're rounding this to 28, and then that's close to 2. So 28 times 2 is 56. Or you can round up to 30. 30 times 2 is 60. And notice that you're relatively close to these 2 numbers. So that's a nice way to estimate to see if your answer is reasonable. Okay? The next, it's very common to multiply by factors of 10, or sometimes it's called powers of 10. So all you do, you're going to move the decimal over depending on how many zeros there are in the power of 10. So for example, if you're multiplying 7.68 times 10, there's 1 0 here, so you're going to move the decimal 1 place over to the right. So this ends up being 76.8. The next example, you have 2 zeros, so you're going to move it 2 places to the right. So it's 2,370.2. And the last one, you're going to move it 3 places over, so you're going to want to insert 2 zeros. And don't forget, a negative times a positive is negative. Now, on the other hand, if you're multiplying by powers of 10 that are decimals, so 0.1, 0.01, 0.001, if you're multiplying by 0.1, you're going to move the decimal place 1 place to the left. If it's 0.01, it's 2 places to the left, and 0.001, 3 places to the left, and so forth. 0.0001, it'd be 4 places to the left. So 42.1 times 0.1, it's moving it 1 to the left, so it's 4.21. 0.01, you're going to move it 2 places to the left. Now your decimal is after the 5. So when you move it 2 places to the left, you end up with 768.05. And number 10, they try to trick you. You have a negative and a negative. Negative times a negative is a positive. And you're going to move it 3 places to the left. So you're going to add 2 zeros to that answer. So 0.0092. And it's that simple. And we have some real world examples, but this is a pretty easy one. It says, in 2050, the population of the United States is projected to be 432 million. And they want you to just write this in scientific notation. So all you're going to do is, well, 438.2 million is 438.2 times 1 million. And 1 million is a 1 with 6 zeros. So that's like an example, like the powers of 10. So you're going to move your decimal 6 places to the right. So after you move it from the 2, you're going to add 5 zeros. So to take that number and turn it into a million, million has 6 zeros. You're just moving this six places over. So you're adding 5 zeros after that 2. Okay? And we have, what do you do when you have an expression and it asks you to evaluate it? Well, very simply, you're evaluating xy. Xy means x times y. And they're telling you that x is 2.3. So 2.3 times 0.44. And you're going to use your same rules for multiplying decimals. So just 0.44. And then 4 times 3 is 12. So ignore the decimals. Just multiply like they're whole numbers. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 2 is 8. And 1 is 9. And then 4 times 3 is 12. 8, 9. And then add. So I get 1,012. But then don't forget to move your decimal 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's 1.012. And for example, 13, they're just asking you, is negative 9 a solution to this? So 3.7 times y, and we're saying y is negative 9. Does this equal negative 3.33? Well, all you have to do is 3.7 times 9. 7 times 9 is 63. 27. So we have 27 and 6, and that's 27 and 6, 33. And move the decimal 1 over, and yes, it is correct. It is equal. And don't forget, a negative times a positive is a negative. Last objective is finding the circumference of a circle. The circumference of a circle is, it is like the perimeter, it is the perimeter around a circle. And by definition, the circumference is twice the radius. The radius is from the center to the a point at the end of the circle. So twice the radius times pi. Pi is an irrational number. It's equivalent to 3.14. You can just leave it as pi in this next example. This next example, number 14, we have a circle. and it's the radius of this circle is 5, and we want to know what the circumference is. So the circumference is 2 times the radius times pi. Sometimes it's written 2 pi r because pi is really it's a number. So we put the numbers together. It's twice pi times r. So in this problem, the radius is 5. So you're just plugging 5 in, so that's 10 pi. And that's it. Okay? And the last problem, we can use, actually there is one more objective, I lied. So we are asking to find the total cost of materials for a job. It says a college student is hired to paint a billboard, and it's $2.49 for the paint per quart, and it requires 3 quarts of paint. So basically you're multiplying. It's repeated addition. So 249 plus 249 plus 249. You can add those up, or you can simply do 249 times 3. So you get 27, 12, 13, 14, 7, and move the decimal 2 places. So it's $7.47 for all of the paint. And that ends 5.3.